Morning traders, Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Tuesday the 4th of October. Let's get started. Pause your players here please. Read to the bottom. If you agree, hit that play button. Summary for today, we have a new short-term long signal. It's worth mentioning, worth noting. As the markets turned yesterday, we also confirmed short-term entry stays small, of course. Risk is high right now, and that's because the intermediate and long-term signals remain in cash or short. Of course, this is paper trades only. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell any security. We note that the gamma exposure ratios are rising. We posted a Twitter thread this morning. You can see this at shorturl.at/ENT capital GK. You can, if you're dealing with the handheld here presentation, you could probably hover over it too like that and it'll take you right to it. So positive GEX remains at SPX 4200. You'll see that 4300 is very, very close. It could easily bounce up there if we get any calls pushing out and up in that direction. Minus GEX has moved up to 3600. It was at 35 yesterday. It had fallen to 35 with yesterday's action, but it has pushed up to 36 in part because spot price moved up, but also because a lot of those puts were closed, which actually drove us upward. Transition range still starts around, yesterday it was 36.65, today is 36.70. The upper range has moved up 39.25. This actually is not the direction we want to go. You want to see the transition actually pulling in, not necessarily getting wider. This is a yellow caution line there, so expect some volatility as we go up here on this new up leg. The market model, this is our cumulative tick model. This is using the ARCX tick, and you can see that the bolded cumulative tick did cross some of its shortest term moving averages, which we have back tested extensively, and when this occurs, it tells us to pay attention to potentially a new long signal. So this is the wake up signal. This is here. Yes, the short-term long signal's on. Now it can fail. You can see back in time where it can actually cross. Here's a good signal where it crossed strongly, a lot of slope there, came back down, tried to hold it and then failed. Here on Friday we tried to get above it and then we failed later part of the day. Here we're going to try to get above and we did pull up, but watch for a reversal, and that's very, very important. That being said, the signal's long. End of day evaluation, short-term signal's long. The intermediate term signal, since it's below what we call the ribbon, is off or short, and the long-term signal also is off or short because all of the slopes of the ribbon are pointed down. Risk is incredibly high, people. There is no guarantee we are going to move up. Right now, the odds favor a reversal and going down, so just be aware of that. Key levels. Notable change here was that shift from 35 to 36. That's good. You can see that we could very easily, with any calls going in, net calls going in at 43, we could easily push up and see positive GEX, positive gamma exposure for the SPX complex, push up to that level. Taking a look here at the 0 DTE, not a very strong expiry today. Pretty clean transition. I do like to see these clean transitions. It kind of draws that line in the sand for us at 36.65, 36.60 for the 0 DTE. Below 36.25, it's a different story. We're in a definite put-dominated expiry today. Above 37.35, 37.40, minimum contribution as it exists right now from the 0 DTE. We're going to have a lot of calls that are going to be in the money. Not just in the SPX, but across the board. And as a result, you may see some monetization in there, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see where it goes to. It looks like futures are going to open up in this area, and we'll see if we get a lot of 0 DTE volume today. That could push us higher, but if we see any monetization of those calls, that could pull us lower. So understanding that behavior is really important. The 1 DTE, I know I've drawn a lot of rectangles here, but they matter. So down here we've got basically where the gamma starts falling off, 36.45. Now this is the 1 DTE. This is going to be Wednesday's estimate of where we end at the end of day Wednesday. You can note the 3600 here with a fairly large expiry tomorrow. Up here, 37.75, also a fairly large expiry. When we see this coincidence of the call expiry and the gamma expiry on the upside, this is a removal of a barrier. So what we would want to see is not this back and forth of the delta notional. We actually want to see a transition more to the positive side where we're seeing calls go in and the gamma up here getting stronger and stronger. So we'll be looking for that in the data tomorrow morning to see what has transpired. Here on the combo complex, which is the AM and the PM settled expiries, fairly clean here. All the way on down, you can see negative gamma here, negative put exposure is we track it through a negative gamma. We know, of course, that long puts are positive gamma. No need to send us a note on that. We note that the value here has gotten less negative, more positive. That's always a good thing. That means that a lot of the negative side of the put equation has been monetized and the positive side is building. That's always a good thing. We do not see any push above 38.80, 38 or 38.30, 38.35 here. We just think that's a bridge too far. So we're drawing that as the upper today. To the downside, you can see 3600, this 3635, 3640 area, very loose, ill-defined. If we lose this area where we are right now and start pushing down, we could actually see more puts getting opened up, which will strengthen the delta notional down here and could flip a lot of this red. On the converse of that, since we are going to probably open north of circle 2 here, up in this zone, we're expecting more and more and more of this to look like, as calls go in, to start flipping to the positive side. You can see some of these numbers are pretty small, so it's going to be really easy with the additional calls to flip these, and that will actually be supportive as we push up here. So downside, watching it, there's some fairly key levels here that if we spit through, for instance, 3650, we'll get spit down pretty fast, and then 3600, of course, remains that line in the sand. Don't expect it here today. But just be aware that it's there, and by the way, it's within the expected range here. So watching for puts to get closed and calls to get opened up here, allowing us to continue this upward grind that potentially could last this week. Finally, back here all the way to the left, put open interest is sitting here at 3,000. You can see positive GEX is 4,200. This transition is still ill-defined. You can see that. You can see where we closed last night, and then 3,600, very, very close range here on 3,500, and then you can see 42, 43 sitting up here. So very easily we could, if we see any calls go in this area, we could take this and push this up. So we are looking to continue to see improvement, a reduction here in the negative side, the put side of the gamma, and we are looking to see this grow. We'll just wait and see how things materialize. This is a lot to plow through. It's going to be really, really hard to sustain this if we don't continue to see calls being added and puts come out of the complex. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, comments, observations, would love to hear them. Come join us at GammaEdge.us. There's a pricing tab at the top up there, 14-day free trial, no risk to you. You can come in, set your defaults to cancel automatically. Come kick the tires, all the tools are turned on. We have a great group of traders and investors, a lot going on with this stuff, a lot of tools available to you. So come on in, kick the tires, would enjoy your company. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, and then here on YouTube, of course. If you like today's content, let me know by smashing that like button. And then, of course, subscribe, because Taylor posts, I post, and Mike posts. So we want to notify you the next time we get something up there. So with that, I bid you farewell. Have a great Tuesday, and hope to see you in the Discord. Thanks.